He's put his shift in defensively. Yes, he's frustrated at times, but come on, listen to yourself. It just seems like agendas. It feels a bit like when we had Bellerin and these sort of players where they're crap 9 times out of 10, but the one time they wasn't, people are doing nonsense. I respect everyone's opinions, but it's not sounding like there's a lot of honesty going on right now where certain players are concerned. But yeah, enough of that. Let's just get into the review of the game, people. Sorry, before I do that, I need to actually make sure I can see you lot and we can also talk. So what? 3:28:20 now. Again, people. My thoughts on this game. Obviously, we've drawn 2-2. I would say 2 points dropped, a point gained for both teams. Now, for me, I feel the only thing in short that we did properly was score. We scored, we were handed a goal, we didn't build on it. There was a time that they were there for the taking. There was 11 men, 11 men camped in the home half and behind the ball. And I feel we should have taken advantage of Crystal Palace with that. I feel the really things I was really disappointed with, obviously the individual mistakes that we saw in that game, Lokonga and Partey. The individuals were poor and they deserve all the music, but not to excuse them. These mistakes are in our game. Several players across several positions. Arteta needs to get that out of our game. People might talk about a potential red card and talk about fine margins where Lacazette went close and Tierney. We can't deal with that. In going into this game, we know Palace are a resurgent side. They're playing good football. One thing I wanted to see is our winning our first and second balls. We didn't do that. We didn't earn the right to play. So I can't be surprised we didn't get anything. We didn't get 3 points from this game. We didn't. There's times we're not challenging Benteke. He's allowed to bring it down. There's times we're playing a high line. We're not aware of we're getting caught 3 versus 3. At times we're forcing things. We're struggling with quality, not playing 5-yard passes. Aubameyang looked like a man inspired, but he's pressing by himself. Lacazette off the bench, forget his goal. Just based on what he did in the first 2 minutes of coming on, was a lot better than certain people that started. At the end of the day, we get a point, but it's far from good enough, is it? And again, I keep saying, when the luck runs out, it's going to hit harder, because in our last few games since our quote-unquote turnaround of performances, there's been times the games have gone against us, people. Again, game management is on the floor. Game management from our manager to our players, very naive bunch of players, really not understanding what's going on. And on a couple of occasions, it could have went left. Palace probably should have won, had more opportunities, did a lot more than us, actually reacted better than us to going a goal down to versus us scoring. Didn't put in a performance like a team that knew what they needed to do. We know Palace, they press high, which they did for the second goal. They work hard. They were beating our transition way too early. I think 9 times out of 10, I'm a big fan of playing Smith Rowe and Odegaard, but Arteta needs to know, according to certain games, when to use certain personnel. And I don't think he's quite done that, really and truly. We looked out of sorts for several occasions. Now, if I share my screen with you, obviously I'm typing this live in real time. So if there's spelling errors, you already know the thing. On best of days, I can't spell anyways. But if I zoom in a bit for you guys, hopefully you lot can see. Now, obviously, pre-game, Palace are a side earning plaudits. They have no win in 7. They're 3 points behind us. They've got a good young squad. Give Vieira all the plaudits he deserves. They're playing better. They're showing more grit, more determination. They're showing better quality on the ball. First 5 minutes, I think you could see it was a very packed Crystal Palace side. They were very united. There was 11 men behind the ball. We weren't winning our first and seconds. I actually feel we started off a bit slowly. Forget the goal. We did well to score, but I think we started a bit slowly. They were looking to break up our rhythm. Once again, you have to earn the right to play. Obviously, 8 minutes in, we've scored. Aubameyang, it's a good finish. Pepe does well to keep an initial poor corner alive. It was good play from Tomiyasu. Probably the only good thing he did actually in the build-up to it before Pepe swung it in. Good play from Aubameyang. I did feel, could we get a second? Because it did feel like we could have caught Crystal Palace cold. It felt like initially where they went wrong, they probably allowed our centre halves to have too much of the ball, and I don't think we did enough. We needed to be wary of our high line, which obviously came back to haunt us in the second half because it looked like Palace could mount things. We're not really making Palace possession count. We're letting, I don't know what the letting tackle happens, but I would say, I feel like I think that what I mean to say is we need to let Crystal Palace clamp us because they look like they're trying to take off a couple of our players' kneecaps. Let them. Need to see a bit more on the ball. I think we was a bit too excited on the ball at times as well. We're forcing things. We're losing it unnecessarily. We're doing things that we don't need to do. And again, just showing overall a lack of man and game management between us people. It's like we don't understand our teammates. We're playing it when there's like 5 yellow shirts. We're giving people the ball where they don't really have the facilities. We needed to just act a bit calmer. 1-0 is not a confident lead, definitely where we are, but we're rushing things. We're giving it away. We're allowing Crystal Palace to grow into the game, and they're having half chances, whether it's on the edge of our area. It looked like Tariq Mitchell and Edouard would be the ones where something is going to develop. It just felt like it was too easy for them to bypass our midfield. You know, they weren't afraid to punch it centrally into Benteke and into Edouard and try and play 1-2s. Them two look dangerous in particular. We did well to go into half time, with what we had really, really and truly. I feel our pressing isn't good enough. Aubameyang's looking good, but it's not good if you're doing it on your own people. It's not going to make sense in it. Pressing with one man isn't to be celebrated. It's just going to be a waste of energy. As I keep saying, these are my halftime thoughts. We need to manage the game a bit better. Several players need to wake up. I feel there's too many gaps. It's too easy to play through us. Aubameyang's pressing alone. We're giving the ball away cheaply. It's lackluster and the passing is overhit. Palace should believe that they could get back into the game, and I'm expecting to see a very reactive Crystal Palace side in the second half. They reacted better than us after conceding. It's not been good enough. Vieira's only going to motivate his players more, and that's meant to say conceded. Palace looked the better team since conceding. How long before they take one of the chances was one of my questions. They had too many half chances. Gallagher had a good effort as well before the close of the first half. There's a time and a place. We need to know when to attack, when to manage, especially when we're bordering on 5 minutes before the end of a half where we're not playing well. Aubameyang once again pressing on his one, so you can see what that means. You cannot tell they're missing Zaha, and again, players are standing up to be counted in that regard. Really, Edouard might have not played, I don't know, but he got an opportunity. It felt like they were going to score from our right hand side, and in the second half, technically they did. Really, you look at the halftime stats, and which team was a goal up without knowing the scoreline. Palace had 4 shots, 3 on target. We had 5, 3 on target. They had more possession with 57 to our 43. They made 289 passes to our 221. We're not really doing anything. You never get the vibe that we know what we're doing or we're in control, whether it's attacking defensively or the middle third of the half, really and truly. Second half, Tomiyasu and Partey gets caught. Our defense is at 6s and 7s. They score. It's the first goal in 7 games for Benteke. It was going to be us that he scored. Again, to go 2-1 down. Shout out to Edouard. He deserves to bag. I don't know what I was writing here, but Gallagher's won it after pressing high. Lokonga's actually been caught a lot of times in possession since he signed for this club and in this game, and he got caught, really and truly. And like I said, our decision making is costing us, because there's times like even Pepe, was it Odegaard or Smith Rowe? One of them could have fed it. I think it might have been Smith Rowe. Could have fed Pepe in a couple of times. Again, our play in the final third, much like everywhere else, needed a lot to be desired. We're getting caught 2-3-1s. As I said, you could see that high line's going to present issues. Lokonga, after seeing how poor Odegaard's played and his partner at the time, Partey's played, you could have probably bagged the start against Villa. Not going to, and he's got a lot to learn. I'm not going to just get at him or get at Partey, because typically they're good players for us, and these mistakes are ingrained within our team. We're losing 2-1. A Lacazette substitution was inspired. You saw a bit more a change out of Aubameyang. You saw a man that wanted to get something out of the game. So it was only befitting. Eventually, he puts the ball in the back of the net and it becomes 2-2. I think in relation to some ending thoughts, I don't know what I was putting here, but I'm going to highlight it if it comes back.